What if the Muslim Ummah had never divided? What if Baghdad, Cairo, Istanbul, and Cordoba all stood under one banner, one voice, one vision, one destiny? Imagine no crusades, no colonization, no fall of empires. A world where knowledge flowed from the mosques of Damascus to the towers of Mali. A world where the call to prayer echoed across continents, not as fragments of nations, but as one united civilization. This is not just fantasy, it's the story of what could have been if the Ummah had stayed one. Before we begin this journey through time, subscribe now to join us in reviving the lost stories of our Ummah. Your support helps bring history back to life. For over 14 centuries, the Muslim Ummah has carried a vision unlike any other. Indeed, this Ummah of yours is one Ummah, and I am your Lord, so worship me. But what if that unity was never lost? What if from the days of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam until today, the Muslim world remained one, unbroken, undivided, and unstoppable? Imagine a world where the line between Mecca and Morocco, Damascus and Delhi, was not drawn by politics or greed, but by the same ink that wrote La ilaha illallah. In this alternate timeline, there is no collapse of Baghdad, no fall of Andalusia, no carving of borders by colonial hands. Instead, there is one mighty civilization, the eternal Ummah. In this world, the caliphate evolves, not into separate dynasties fighting for power, but into a vast interconnected system of provinces, all guided by shura, consultation, and justice. The heart of the Ummah beats in Medina, but its strength flows from Cairo's scholars, from the engineers of Damascus, from the traders of Zanzibar, and the mathematicians of Samarkand. Universities stretch from Timbuktu to Tashkent. Arabic, Persian, and Turkish merge into a global lingua franca of science, poetry, and law. Instead of competing, Muslim scholars collaborate, preserving and expanding the golden chain of knowledge that once changed the world. Without division, the Ummah becomes a global superpower, centuries ahead of its time. Baghdad becomes the Silicon Valley of the 14th century. The House of Wisdom evolves into the Academy of the Crescent, where scholars invent machines that harness wind, sun, and water. Trade routes remain safe and prosperous, guarded by a unified naval fleet stretching from the Atlantic to the Indian Ocean. Europe, once struggling to rise from its dark ages, now looks east, not to conquer, but to learn. Instead of colonialism, cooperation shapes the future. Instead of the printing press spreading propaganda, it spreads Quranic knowledge, science, and literature. Imagine courts where Sharia is not weaponized but lived, where rulers are accountable and corruption is rare. The poor are fed by Bayt al-Mal, education is free, and women, scholars, traders, poets shape the destiny of nations. Fatima al-Fihri's legacy continues through 1,000 universities bearing her name. Ibn Sina's medicine evolves into a global health system centuries before modern hospitals. Ibn Khaldun's sociology forms the basis of governance that unites hearts, not divides them. There is no Mongol sack of Baghdad, because when the Mongols approach, the united Ummah rises together, armies from every corner defending one city, one civilization. When the Crusaders march, they are met not by divided states, but by a single shield, the shield of the Ummah. And when the waves of modernity crash centuries later, the Ummah rides them, guiding technology with morality and power with mercy. Fast forward to the 21st century. The capital of the world is not New York or London, but Al-Quds al-Muqaddas. Skylines rise above golden domes and ancient minarets. Artificial intelligence serves not greed, but humanity. Diplomacy is shaped not by fear, but by "O mankind, we created you from a single soul." The United Nations? It never exists, because the Ummah itself is united under one justice system that protects all peoples of faith. The media doesn't sell division, it promotes truth. The economy thrives not through usury, but through ethical trade rooted in trust. Most of all, the heart of humanity remains alive. There are no wars fought in the name of religion, because true Islam is never distorted. The Quran is not just recited, it is lived. The world knows the Ummah not by fear, but by light. From mosques in Antarctica to prayer spaces in space stations, the Adhan unites hearts across galaxies. Children grow up hearing stories of unity, not loss. History becomes a mirror of greatness, not nostalgia. And the phrase Ummah Wahida, one nation, is no longer a dream, but the living truth of humanity.
But this was only a what-if. Our history did fracture. Our hearts did divide. The Muslim lands were colonized, the caliphate dismantled, and the dream of unity scattered across borders drawn by foreign pens. Yet even now, the spark remains. Every time a believer raises his hands and says, "O Allah, unite us again," the story continues. Every act of kindness, every scholar teaching truth, every nation striving for justice, they are threads of that same tapestry that once held the world together. Unity is not lost, it is waiting. Not in the past, but in the hearts that still beat for it. What if the Muslim Ummah was always united? The question may belong to an alternate history, but the answer, the dream of unity, belongs to our future. If one generation divided the Ummah, perhaps this generation can reunite it, not through power, but through purpose. So ask yourself, when the pages of history are rewritten, will you be part of the division or the revival? If this vision moved your heart, subscribe to help us bring more stories of faith, history, and hope to life. Together, we can revive what was never truly lost.